What a great day to be a Baltimore Ravens fan, because you just got not one, but two pieces of great news, and I will go over them today. The first one, multiple players are back at practice. After yesterday's injury report, you saw the list of DNPs, and you're kind of like, yikes. Got a lot of people at practice today. I'll go into that in just a little bit. And that second one, leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger. Stick around. I'll let you know the second great news. But before we jump into anything, let's do a little daily sub battle with the Cowboys. I checked in on today's video for them. They got 23 subs. It went out a little bit earlier this morning, so that number's only going to rise. Can we beat them? Okay, right now, at this time of filming, because it's not on YouTube yet, we're sitting at 0 subs. Let's get closer. Let's try to get, 25. All right, let's get into the news. This is what the did not practice list looked like yesterday on Wednesday. Ronnie Stanley did not practice with an ankle injury. Kyle Hamilton with a back injury. Kyle Van Noy with an eye injury. Also seems like he's dealing with a groin issue. Nate Wiggins with the neck and concussion. And Jalyn Armour-Davis, for personal reasons, was not there. And you saw a lot of freak out from people on Twitter, from myself, seeing how many important people are on that list. But then today offered everybody just a little bit of breathing room, because back at practice was Ronnie Stanley. He was a full participant. Kyle Hamilton was limited. However, Kyle Van Noy was full. Nate Wiggins was limited. And this was the first time since that car wreck. So great to see him back at practice. He was wearing a red non-contact jersey. And then Jalyn Armour-Davis was back as a full participant. And there's many reasons that this is great news. Obviously, you see a lot of important figures on that list right there. But most importantly, a lot of those guys were members of the secondary. And through 2 games, without a doubt, the secondary has been the Ravens' biggest weakness so far. And it really hasn't even been close. And so if you're saying, okay, guys are getting injured, guys are sitting out of practice that are already in the secondary that hasn't been doing so well, yikes. It kind of has you wondering what it would look like with the second, third stringers in there. So it's good news that they're back, that they're practicing, and they'll be able to, prove maybe that from week over week, a little bit of improvement. So before I dive into anything, I got a question for you guys. Is the secondary the Ravens' biggest weakness? Because I think we said 2 weeks ago it was the offensive line, but it seems maybe things have changed. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. You're about to get hit with the YouTube ad break. So to make that time go a little bit faster, go down in the comment section, type Y for yes, and type in for no. So let's talk about how this has been such a weakness so far. Against Kansas City, 281 pass yards given up to Patrick Mahomes himself. And then the week after that to Las Vegas, 233 yards given up. That's 257 per game. That lands them where? Dead last in the NFL. And it's not like it's just the wide receiver's fault, right? It's not like these quarterbacks just seem to be carving them up. Patrick Mahomes with an 87.9 PFF grade. Gardner Minshew with a 73.1 PFF grade. Uncle Rico himself. But honestly, guys, I look at this, and yes, a good chunk of it does fall on the secondary. But I think we're at the point right now that we can kind of all admit it's not just a one position group problem. Okay? I don't think you just fix it by saying secondary, be better, play better. I think it starts from the front all the way back, right? I think you can look at it and say, okay, edge rushers, we got to get to the quarterback a little bit quicker. We got to mind our gaps. We can't let Contain get out. Linebackers, when you're asked to cover a wide receiver, try to keep up a little bit better. I don't love the mismatches of the Roquan Smiths on the Rashee Rices. Didn't love that, but hey, maybe if you're in zone, don't let Brock Bowers just sit untouched with 10 yards of cushion for 15 seconds. And then, of course, you got to address the secondary as well. And so I don't think, and that's kind of why I'm confident that this is going to get figured out, because it's not just a one position group deal. Everybody just needs to be a little bit better, and I think that's going to help it. Well, guys, I've got some good news. We will be live at 3:25 Eastern Time on Sunday for the Cowboys versus Ravens game. Of course, that kicks off at 4:25. We'll be hanging out for about an hour. I'll be chopping it up with you guys. We'll go over keys to victory. We'll, just get some good back and forth. Come hang out with me. It's a blast. Had so much fun these past two games. And 3:25 right here on Ravens Rundown. Before we move in to the second good news that the Ravens got today, I got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that, of course, is Factor. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian-approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every single week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. So what are you waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. Guys, we work long hours here at Chat Sports, and every time that I get home, I don't really want to spend 30, 40 minutes, chefing up a meal. But I also don't want to go home and get Chicken Express and Whataburger every single time I leave. And so that's the great thing about Factor is you can get food fast, you can get it in your stomach fast, and it is good for you. So head over to factormeals.com/RavensChat50 and use code RavensChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code RavensChat50 at factormeals.com/RavensChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. So let's get into that second dose of good news. This is on the Cowboys side because both Trevon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb were limited in practice today. And yesterday, they didn't even practice. And this is huge news for the Cowboys. And I know I just stood here and talked to you and said, hey guys, we got some guys back from practice. That's good news. And they're getting guys back from practice as well, but these are two of their most important and key pieces. And yes, I do think that they will still play Sunday, but the fact that they didn't practice yesterday and were only limited today, I think that's only good signs for this team. Now, to be clear, I just kind of want to get this across before we go on anything else. I'm not rooting for them to be hurt, right? I'm not sitting here saying, oh, please, I hope they have injuries. But the fact that they were limited in practice today, honestly, we all know it. It affects the likelihood of a Ravens win on Sunday. Because at the end of the day, these are some special guys. Now, here's the deal. I've already said it a little bit. I do expect them to play, okay? They came back to practice today. I think they're going to be able to play on Sunday. But I don't think they're going to be anywhere near 100%. And I know what Coach Mike McCarthy said, right? Gave the classic coach speech yesterday. Said the injuries to wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and Trevon Diggs, they're not of high concern. Sounds like the expectation is they both will play on Sunday. And that's fine, okay? I expected them to play. But wouldn't you rather have this news that they're dealing with a little bit of injury this week and have them play than just have them gone straight into it with a full week of practice, fully healthy? Because when you look at this wide receiver room, and when you look at the cornerback room, we'll look at it after this, but behind CeeDee Lamb, there's just not a ton of talent. I think Brandon Cooks is good. I think he's getting a little bit older. Jalen Tolbert hasn't panned out for them. Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy, Kevontae Turpin, they're fine, right? They're classic wide receiver 4, 5, 6 options. And then you go to the cornerback depth chart with Deron Bland being on injured reserve for the first 4 games of the season. Really, once you get behind Trevon Diggs, you got rookie Kalen Carson, and then you got Jordan Lewis behind him. And so the fact that these guys are going to be limited, were limited today, and probably aren't going to be 100% on Sunday, that only is good news for the Ravens. Because we already talked about their running back room just the other day. I don't think it's anything to write home about. I doubt you think a 65-year-old Ezekiel Elliott is anything to write home about either. And so, if CeeDee Lamb, even if he's feeling just 80%, man, I'd rather get an 80% CeeDee Lamb than 100%. And Trevon Diggs, even if he's just feeling 80% of Trevon Diggs, I'd rather get an 80% Trevon Diggs than an 100% Trevon Diggs. But if you had to pick one of these two to not play on Sunday, who would you choose? I think I would choose CeeDee Lamb solely because, if you take away CeeDee Lamb, then that offense's best weapon is Brandon Cooks. Because Jake Ferguson, he had a low-grade MCL sprain in that first game. So they just don't have a ton. But you guys let me know in the comment section down below. Type TD for Trevon Diggs and type CD for CeeDee Lamb. Guys, I got to remind you again, we will be live starting at 3:25 on Sunday. It's going to be a party. So come hang out. We'll watch the game together. We'll talk together. Hopefully we'll win together. I'll see you guys tomorrow.